Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I want to share something I picked up from Bob Goff and an embarrassing story of mine from many years ago. John chapter 7, verse 24 says, "Stop judging by mere appearances. Instead, judge correctly." Well, in general, we do well not to judge, and sometimes we make some pretty big mistakes when we do judge other people. Sometimes we find that we are quite wrong. Well, he said someone dropped him off at Dulles International Airport. It was a cold day. It was snowy out. They're just outside of Washington, D.C., and cars were stopped, and people were unloading luggage and giving hugs goodbye. But there was this police officer, and she was in a bad mood. And she was shouting and waving her arms at the cars. She stomped her feet as she charged from car to car, yelling loudly. We steered clear of her, and they said they pulled about 50 yards ahead. He said he gathered his belongings out of the car, and he was walking towards the terminal in the direction of the police officer. And then he did something that I don't think I would do. He said, in a moment of half passion and 1/4 compassion, he said, "I walked out into the street and asked the officer if she was okay. You seem like you're a little bit on edge," he said. And he was like face to face with her there, and she looked puzzled. And I said, "You're doing a lot of yelling tonight at everyone. Are you okay?" And the woman says, "Oh, honey." I love that. She's laughing. She goes, "I'm not mad. I'm just trying to stay warm out here. It's doggone freezing." And he said, "Boy, did I feel stupid for misplacing judgment about this person that he didn't really know." We shouldn't be so quick to fill in the blanks, should we? A lot of times I saw a t-shirt recently that said, "Be kind," because you have no idea the situations that anybody else is dealing with. We just have no idea. And in this case, she was being demonstrative and over the top to keep herself warm, not because she was angry. And she did it to get people's attention. And she succeeded in doing that. But he also talks about that you'll see sometimes people are out in the ocean. He talks about being in the beautiful waters of the Caribbean, and you see this fin sticking up out of the water coming at you. And some people automatically assume that, oh my goodness, it's a shark, and they scream, and they're running out of the water. But it just as easily could be a dolphin. And I don't think I ever knew this. So if you looked hard enough and long enough, and you give it more thought, you might conclude you were safe, because the shark's tail goes side to side. The dolphin's goes up and down. Something to keep in mind. Sometimes we just need to take a little longer look. But Jesus wants us to give people the benefit of the doubt. I remember many years ago, it was Easter, and the church I was at had like this loft for the sound booth, and I sat up there. I was just one person, but I figured we're going to be packed today, and I want to give room for other people. And I see this young family walk in. He looked pretty nice with his sport coat on, and she had her Easter dress on, and they had a young boy and a young girl. I mean, they were just like, as Harry Carey used to say, the family from the insurance commercial. And they looked vaguely familiar, and I really am not judgmental, but I just thought, man, we haven't seen them in some time, probably since last Easter. And I'm looking down at them, and literally looking down at them like, man, nice, beautiful family. Why don't you show up at church once in a while? But man, they looked familiar, and then I finally figured it out. We hadn't seen them for a while because they were missionaries to Africa. I'm judging them because they weren't at church, because they were serving Jesus in Africa. Have you ever had egg on your face like that? When it's like, oh, Jesus says, judge rightly. And what he's really saying is, know what you're looking at and make proper evaluations. I'm so glad I didn't say anything to this couple. Oh, by the way, I was the missions pastor. I knew who they were. I just couldn't place them. May you not do what I have done, and have a great week.